So, remember when I said I was going to be bringing you my November-December wrap-up? Well, it turns out I actually didn't read anything in the month of November. The books I thought I'd read in November, I actually read in October. So instead, this has turned out to be an October-December wrap-up. So, without further ado, let's just get into the books. First up, we've got a book that I borrowed on Overdrive, which is The Buried Giant by Kazuo Ishiguro, and this is set several years after the death of King Arthur, and we follow an elderly couple as they set out from their village to visit their son. However, there is a strange mist covering the land that is affecting people's memories. Now, this is Ishiguro's first book in about like 10 years or something, I think. And I know a lot of people were a little disappointed because they think he's trying to start writing in the fantasy genre, and while The Buried Giant does have a fantasy setting, I think it is just that. It's just a setting, it's just a tool that Ishiguro has used to express points that he wanted to make in the book, and I personally really enjoyed it. Because there's this mist hanging over the land, everybody is an unreliable narrator, but they don't know that, like, they don't think they're being unreliable, and I just really enjoyed it. I just think it was really well executed and really interesting because it's the first time I'd read anything with that kind of setting before, and I just really enjoyed it. Then I read the final 3 books in the Mortal Instruments series, which are City of Fallen Angels, City of Lost Souls, and City of Heavenly Fire, and I have done a full series review for this, which I will link below and maybe somewhere on here. And overall, I really enjoyed this series. It wasn't perfect by any means, and Clary and Jace are, I'm not going to talk about Clary and Jace, but overall I just really enjoyed this series. It's really fun, really fast paced, and just overall a really fun read. I wasn't sure what to expect from this series, and honestly, overall I really enjoyed it. For those that don't know, the Mortal Instruments series follows a young girl called Clary Frey who gets thrown into this supernatural world of demons and shadow hunters, and she's got to try and save the world, basically. And I just really enjoyed it. There's not much really to say about it. I loved most of the characters, and it was just a really fun read. As was the next couple of books that I read, which I borrowed on Overdrive, which were the final 2 books in the Infernal Devices trilogy, which were Clockwork Prince and Clockwork Princess. Again, I did a series review, I will link it below and somewhere on here. And again, really fun series. This one is set a couple hundred years before the events that take place in the Mortal Instruments, and we follow a young woman called Tessa Gray, who moves from America to England to stay with her brother, and literally finds herself dragged into this supernatural world. And again, the characters are great, the story's great, it's a lot of fun, very fast paced, and I also love how if you read the 2 series alongside each other that there's little crossover things in them, which I think was really good. So overall, really enjoyed both those series, and I'm looking forward to getting started on The Dark Artificers. Super excited for that. Next, on to my favourite book from last year, which was Carry On by Rainbow Rowell. And I did a review for this, which I will link below and on here as well. And I love this book. I can't say anything more than that because I absolutely don't. My opinion is, it's probably not the most reliable opinion because I love this book so much that none of the bad things about it, I love this book so much. I love Simon and Baz, and If you want in a critical opinion, then you might want to look elsewhere, because that's not what you're going to get from me. It's basically, I love this book and I am not going to ever think anything bad about it. Ever. I just can't. So for those that don't know, Carry On is Rainbow Rowell's fanfiction for the final book in the Simon and Snow series, which is a fictional series from her novel Fangirl, of which the main character is a big fan of. And it's essentially kind of like a Harry Potter parallel, which I know a lot of people had a problem with, but I just... And the final book I read in October was Throne of Glass by Sarah J Maas. I read this on my Kindle, and for those that don't know, Throne of Glass is about a young woman called, or a young girl, no, she's not a young girl, she's a young woman called Celaena Sardothien, who at the beginning of the novel is in prison. But she is taken to participate in a tournament to win the opportunity to become the king's assassin, and earn her freedom eventually. And while I did enjoy it, it didn't wow me. It wasn't amazing. Celaena wasn't the amazing kick-ass female heroine that I had heard so much about. I didn't actually. She was probably one of my least favourite characters, which is probably why I didn't enjoy it as much as everybody else seemed to, because I just didn't like her, and I still don't like her. But I am gonna continue, I think, and just hope that she gets better. And because I don't like Celaena, I'm not part of Team Dorian or Team Chaol, but out of Dorian and Chaol, I personally prefer Chaol. So overall, it was okay. It wasn't a bad book, so I did kind of enjoy it. I did enjoy it, I just don't like Celaena. But I think I might continue, and hopefully she gets better. I don't know. We'll see. I will read the next one, definitely. But whether I continue from there, I'm not sure. Right, so moving on to, so we'll just bypass November because I didn't read anything aside from probably a couple of more rereads of Carry On, and go straight into December. So the first 3 books that I read in December were the first 3 Harry Potter books, because as you all know, December marks the beginning of the second year of Harry Christmas to You, and so I decided that this year was the year that I was going to reread all 7 Harry Potters, and I started off well. I read the first 3 Harry Potter books and I enjoyed them so much. It's been a long time since I've read these, and I'd forgotten how much I enjoyed them. They're just so much fun and I just love them so much. So they were the first 3 books that I read in December. So the next book I read was a Christmas book, and it was A Boy Called Christmas by Matt Haig, and this is the true story of Father Christmas, and it is as Christmassy and festive and lovely and heartwarming as you would expect it to be, but it also has its darker moments, which I really like in kids books, probably why I loved Roald Dahl so much as a kid. I still do. So we follow a young boy called Nicholas as he tries to believe in magic and happiness despite the hardships that he faces and the heartbreaks and betrayals that awaits him when he comes face to face with the darker side of humanity and elves. It's I really enjoyed it, and I think it's probably a definite reread for every Christmas, definitely. And then on to the final books that I read in December, which were the final 4 books in the Harry Potter series. So Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire, Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix, Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince, and Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows. So I did it. I managed to complete all 7 books, reread all 7 of the Harry Potter books for Harry Christmas to You, and I enjoyed them all so much. It was just so nice to just dive back into this world and rediscover why I loved it so much in the first place, and because there's so much that I'd forgotten, and it was just magical. It was just So nice for Christmas. But that is it for this October-December wrap-up. Hopefully I will manage to keep on top of the wrap-ups this year, but we'll see. So that is it from me, guys. Let me know what your favourite December read was in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!